After years of segregation in the United States, civil rights leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr. fought rigorously for desegregation in America, especially in the South. But while King was fighting hard for change, others refused to alter their views. In 1962, George Wallace was elected governor of Alabama. After touring across the state declaring he would stand in the doorway of the University of Alabama before ever allowing an African American to enroll, he made an even more chilling proclamation in his inaugural address.
I draw the line in the dust and toss the gauntlet before the feet of tyranny, and I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
In 1963, a federal judge ordered Vivian Malone and James Hood be admitted into the University of Alabama, but Governor Wallace was not about to go down without a fight. On June 11th, when Alabama National Guardsmen escorted Malone and Hood to the entrance of Foster Auditorium to register for classes, Wallace was waiting.
While some few may applaud these acts, millions of Americans will gaze in sorrow upon the situation existing at this great institution of learning.
After making his symbolic stand in the door, Wallace stepped aside as Vivian Malone and James Hood enrolled at the University of Alabama. Although the university had admitted its first African American students, the athletic program had still not been integrated. But 6 years later, that was about to change. After the men's basketball team finished 4-20 in 1969, head coach C.M. Newton found a tall, skinny, 6'5", 150-pound Birmingham native by the name of Wendell Hudson. Although Hudson held offers to junior colleges and black colleges where life may have been easier, Wendell Hudson was ready to face the challenges.
Now, was everything smooth and comfortable and all that kind of stuff? That would be a no too. But I never doubted that I made the right decision, never wavered about making that decision, never thought about leaving Alabama or transferring somewhere else. It was a commitment that I had made to them and they had made to me.
But no matter how difficult things may have seemed, Hudson always seemed to find an oasis. Training in the same building where just years earlier, he wouldn't have even been allowed.
Well, when I was in school here, that was shortly after some of these things happened. We went over in the summertime, and my fond memories of playing in the off-season was in Foster Auditorium.
By the time Hudson graduated from the University of Alabama, he had staked his claim becoming one of the top scorers and rebounders in the SEC while leading Alabama to an NIT berth in his senior year. But at that point, the men's basketball team had moved into a bigger Coleman Coliseum, and the women's team soon followed. Soon enough, the only team playing in Foster Auditorium would be the volleyball team, but even they would leave for the greener pastures of the Cave in 1996. The building that had seen so much history was left dormant. But after the Crimson Tide women's basketball team struggled in the 2007 season, athletic director Mal Moore decided to make a coaching change and hired Wendell Hudson. After taking the reins of the program, it was Coach Hudson who came up with the idea to spark life not only into Alabama women's basketball, but into one of the most historic buildings on the Alabama campus.
But really, when I accepted the job to become the women's basketball coach, one of the things I talked to Coach Moore about and I felt like would help women's basketball is to have a home court advantage. And Foster Auditorium was sitting there, but I thought, well, that would be the ideal situation to start rebuilding this program.
As the $16 million renovation project is just months away from completion, the women's basketball team along with Alabama volleyball are set to return to their original home in the fall of 2010. But even though many will always remember Foster Auditorium as a battleground for civil rights in the 1960s, Wendell Hudson will remember the 40th anniversary of Wallace's stand with Vivian Malone and current Alabama Governor Bob Riley.
We were standing outside of Foster Auditorium, and it started raining that night for some reason. And it was ironic that, the governor of Alabama and all of us who were there went into Foster Auditorium, and we finished the program in there, this is kind of like unbelievable that we would have all these people here, and now the governor of Alabama is going inside, and we're welcoming people, and we had a great conversation inside and finished up in there, and we all went through the same door.
Alan Fall, Tuscaloosa.